Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanine. We're back with some more good news. I told you, it seems like it's almost time. That's what it seems like, in my humble opinion. Not just because of the case, but because the legacy system is stepping in. They have exchanges, ETFs. I mean, they look like they're ready to go big. Now that they can benefit, they're going heavy. This is no different, but I want you to really pay attention to what they're saying here, what they're alluding to. So this article is from the cryptobasic.com. This is what it says. Forbes, reputable, alerts of 15 trillion. We're talking trillions again, folks. I'm going to try to calm myself down so I'm not screaming in your ear because I get a little excited. $15 trillion earthquake is approaching the crypto markets, fueled by Blackrock. Money. I'll take that Blackrock money. Give it to me. Fueled by Blackrock's interest in Bitcoin ETF. But wait, that's not the point here. You know that's not the point. Potentially reshaping XRP demand. Wait. I know I'm saying wait a lot. I know. But it goes deeper. There's a reason they're saying this. Let's scroll down and read it. Because this is huge. Huge. Now, let's begin here. It says, in a recent report, Forbes magazine sounded the alarm, alerting that an unprecedented seismic shift is hurtling toward the crypto market. Haven't we been saying that? It takes Blackrock to tell everybody. It takes Forbes to tell the people. But the people they're still not going to listen. Seismic shift is hurtling toward the crypto market, with XRP at its epicenter. Why are they saying that? Don't worry, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Just be patient a little bit. The article, quote, a new wave, major bank reveals a $15 trillion earthquake, unquote, sheds light on a colossal event that could send shockwaves through XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. Keep them in your mind. And if you remember, Cardano was one of our original utility coins. You remember we were covering all that, what they were doing with Scan Trust. We were covering Cardano in Africa. But I'm not going to lie, we took some profit off Cardano. We definitely did. Yeah, and Zilliqa too. Yeah, we played with them a little bit. Yeah, oh yeah. A sign of the storm ticked last week when Blackrock, the world's largest asset manager, announced its intention to plunge deeper into the crypto realm. Specifically, Blackrock, which has assets worth $10 trillion under management, filed for a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund ETF with the U.S. regulator. As the largest global asset manager, Blackrock's actions signal an immense demand for Bitcoin exposure. Don't worry, we're getting to the XRP. There's something here. But I need to lay everything out so you can get a clear picture and make up your own mind. This would naturally ignite a domino effect, leading to a rally around various coins such as XRP. That's not it. Let's keep going. We're getting there. It says, here we go. Investors worth $5 trillion are ready for XRP. Don't you remember when SBI, the head of SBI, told us they were on the side? That's a fact. To look it up for yourself if you're a newcomer, if you didn't read those articles. Remember when I forgot who it was. There was some CEO from South Korea said the same thing. They said they're waiting on a positive outcome in the SEC case versus Ripple. Look that one up and save all of these documents when you find them. They told us there was a lot of money on the side. Businesses, banks on the side waiting to get in. They told no lies. But let's keep going. Additionally, Forbes argued the possibility of the storm rocking the crypto market following a stunning revelation from Laser Digital. What's this revelation? I wonder. A digital assets subsidiary of banking behemoth Nomura. Its recent survey of professional investors managing, let me say it again. Its recent survey of professional investors managing a staggering $5 trillion exposed an overwhelming desire to invest in cryptocurrencies like XRP. Don't worry, there's more specifics. This article was major. Go visit thecryptobasic.com because they dropping bombs over there. Talk to me, talk that money to me. This is specifically 96% of these financial experts expressed keen interest in entering the crypto space, citing its potential to diversify portfolios, revolutionize investment management. Now, here we go, folks. Here we go. 82%. That's a huge swath. 82% of the respondents displayed an optimistic outlook for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. That's it. That's the three. That's the three right there. They just told you. That's the initial three. XRP is in the door. Let me read it again one more time for clarity. 82% of the respondents displayed an optimistic outlook for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. $5 trillion we're getting a piece. I don't know when. You got to make up your own mind. I'm just expressing my excitement, my interest. My excitement is not meant to make you excited or, control your mind or any of that type of thing. Not at all. I'm just excited. I know what I hold. It says while 88% confirmed that they or their clients were actively considering crypto investments. We always knew what the future was going to be. Don't mistake me. We have a little bit of a ways to go as far as all this regulatory clarity nonsense. But see, I told you they were getting impatient. This is what I've been saying. They're getting impatient. They want that money now. There's been more struggles than they anticipated. The banking industry is a house of cards right now. There's a liquidity drain going on. They're still issuing T-bills, correct? T-bills. So listen, that T-bill drain may have an effect on the stock market and other things over the next month or two. So they're on the lookout for that. There's so many things that are up in the air. They're saying, well, this crypto stuff here, if we let it run wild and just let crypto do what it does, like the last bull run, boom, sky's the limit. They know that this is a great way to make capital here in crypto. And so now they're getting impatient saying, we want to make some money. And I believe they're making the big push. Blackrock is getting involved. We already know Vanguard is involved. We're not going to delve too deeply into that. All the big shots are getting involved. Franklin Templeton through Stellar. You see what's happening here? It's all coalescing. They're all coming together. After they forced so many people out, they've broken so many people and forced them out of the industry. Now they're stepping in. This is always the way that it happens, folks. The big money, they fudge you. They pay the media to fudge you out, squeeze you out. Harsh economic circumstances, so they know people need to pull capital. Some people have to leave. I understand that completely. But they make times hard so that you don't have really any capital. This is what their hopes are, that most people don't have any capital to play with. And while all the prices are going down, now they say, yeah, we're going to step in. There are no coincidences. For every cause, there is an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. So we're going to leave that one there. Let's move on to another article here. So now this next article here is from CryptoPotato.com. All right. This is a great article. That's a funny name for a website, but this is a good article. So now this one here is titled Ripple CTO. At least one federal judge is frustrated with the SEC. It says the case between Ripple and SEC isn't the only one that's looming over the industry, as the commission's been on a roll lately. Paul Grewal, chief legal officer of Coinbase, commented on a ruling by the Third Circuit, which says it will retain jurisdiction over the company's challenge to the SEC's inaction on their petition for basic rules for crypto. It says, we are grateful that the court will continue to shine a bright light on an SEC process that until now has operated entirely in darkness. First bullet point, taking part in the discussion was also David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple. Second bullet point, he outlined that the above is, quote, kind of a roller coaster, because the court has insisted that the, quote, SEC tell it when the commission is going to rule on Coinbase's request, unquote. At the same time, it has also let, quote, the SEC get away with taking 4 months just to update the court on just the progress towards getting a staff recommendation, unquote. Next bullet point. He concluded that there is some sort of positivity in all of that. Then let's continue on. It says, I guess the most positive spin I can put on it is the fact that Coinbase was successful in getting any relief at all is likely an indication that at least some of our frustration with the SEC is shared by at least one more federal judge. One more, there's multiple. One more federal judge and maybe lots more federal judges. Okay, so he finished it. That's what I thought. I was like, wait a minute, we've gotten a few good legal precedents set. So there's multiple judges that understand that the SEC has not done what they're supposed to do and may not have the authority, just my humble opinion, this is my assessment, may not have the authority to make such a decision if they lack the knowledge on the assets and they lack the knowledge and the will to issue new regulations on brand new assets that do not fall under the laws or the precedents set in the past. Like, you can't judge crypto by the Howey test because it's a new asset class and it just, Howey test does not live up to or meet what is needed to assess whether a crypto asset is a security or not, which most of crypto, legit crypto, seem to be commodities, right? All right, so then it says here, more recently, Crypto Potato reported that John Deaton, a lawyer representing thousands of XRP holders, also bashed the SEC, but that's nothing new. That we know, all right, that we know. So at least we're seeing now that there are a lot of judges, and not just the judges, but because articles like this are being written, it's being exposed as to just how incompetent, and I mean no disrespect in that, how incompetent the SEC has been, which is shaking things up. And I think this is all happening for a reason. Before this, we had good legal precedents set before, like in the LBRY case, but they didn't report on it widely. Right? It was just really us in the Bankcoin family that paid attention to that. But now all of this type of news is getting a lot of publicity. Why? Maybe it's because all of these big money companies are getting hungry to make millions and billions off of crypto. So they're pushing the timeline forward now. They're speeding things up a bit. Maybe. All right, so now let's move on to another article here. So now this article is from U.Today, and it is titled Ripple Ally versus SEC Newly Unsealed Documents Reveal Astonishing Fact. All right, let's find out what they're talking about. It says James K. Fallon shares an update on the LBRY versus SEC case. He shares the document containing the transcript of the February the 6th, 2023 status conference. LBRY lost in summary judgment to the SEC as the judge ruled the initial sales of LBC tokens constituted a securities offering. But keep in mind, then also there's a balance to everything. So also the secondary sales were determined to not be security sales or securities, right? So that was a major precedent set and win. It says, thus, additional discovery was sought before the judge could issue a final order, which prompted the status conference held on February the 6th this year. A part of the transcript highlights the judge's position on the lack of clarity provided to crypto investors and the SEC's refusal to provide such clarity. So once again, a completely different case. The SEC is rubbing judges the wrong way across the board. They're upsetting. I'm trying to find the right word, family-friendly, clean word. They're upsetting judges across the board, and that's great for us. We're getting the law further on our side. It says, okay, a part of the transcript highlights the judge's position on the lack of clarity provided to crypto investors and the SEC's refusal to provide such clarity. A statement in the transcript reads, quote, I've been concerned about those people and their lack of clarity. So the judge is worried. Things are going, the energy is flowing our way. This is my personal opinion, right? About what they can do with what they purchased. and it had been my hope that the SEC could give those investors some clarity. So the hypocrisy is being noticed by the judges as well. And now that you have these big sites like U.Today writing about it, a lot of people are going to hear about this. Maybe even some mainstream media might pick this up. Maybe. Right now that there's a bit of a push now because of Blackrock, right? But the hypocrisy is being exposed because you can't on one hand say we're trying to protect the people, and on the other hand, you're saying, we're not going to give them any clarity. Forget the people who purchased these things and such. We don't need to tell them anything. No, you do. You do. And so now that makes everyone question your judgment, right? Which is very good for us. So it says, could give those investors some clarity because they're the people you're supposed to be protecting. Exactly. Thank you, Judge. I was just saying that. Exactly. Perfect. So the judge added, quote, you have elected not to do that in this case. I've urged you to try to provide some clarity. So there you have it. And let me tell you something. A lot of judges, they operate sort of like a brotherhood, a sisterhood, where they sort of try to get each other's back. It's not all the time, but they stand up for each other. So other judges are going to take note that this judge wanted this to happen and the SEC went against them. You go against one judge, you're going against a whole lot of judges, for lack of a better word. You get what I'm saying? So this is very, very good for us. Judge Barbadoro went ahead to convey his frustration regarding this, saying he cannot force the SEC to do this, nor can he provide such clarity. So that's interesting there. They have a document here. All right. So if you want to read that document, head over to U.Today. This is on their front page. OK, let's scroll down here. I'm scrolling past the document. It says a Twitter user named Sherry commented along these lines, sharing a screenshot. Quote, Judge Barbadoro stated his position very well. He cannot force the SEC. That we read already. He says, in bringing up the Ripple and LBRY cases in his discussion, lawyer and XRP enthusiast Bill Morgan posits the question of whether the SEC has evidence from even a single actual holder of XRP that bought it, expecting a profit from Ripple's efforts. They're going to have a hard time with that. A lot of people got an XRP. They didn't know anything about Ripple. And I can tell you when I got into XRP, I knew about XRP because of my brother. I've told this story many times. I was in the stock market. We were doing pretty good over there at the time. We were doing good in the stock market. And my brother said, hey, Mick, this is a coin. It's not meant for retail. It's meant for the banks. There's some bank money coming in the future, if everything goes according to plan. And if you can't get XRP, get XLM. That's what he said. He didn't mention Ripple. I didn't know anything about Ripple until later on. I started doing all this research into crypto and such. So I had already gotten some XRP and didn't even know about Ripple. I think a lot of people are like that. So anyway, well, here's somebody here. So someone replied to Bill Morgan and said, I did not buy XRP in 2018 because I knew anything about Ripple's presentation. I bought it because it had the third largest market cap. So then you have people like that as well. All right. So there's a lot of different reasons people got into this. Like, don't get me wrong. Now we all cover what's going on with Ripple. That's only because XRP is being held back. All the utility coins are being held back because of this case and lack of clarity. Right. So times have changed a little bit, but the foundation of everything remains the same. So he says, quote, Ripple's so-called representations about XRP for 99.9% of XRP holders are like someone. Wait, who's saying this? Wait a minute. Who's this quote from? They don't clarify that. I don't want to say that quote. Just like that's a funny quote. You can read that yourself when you get to the article. It says, but let's apply a hypothetical reasonable investor test. In the face of any actual evidence, and the SEC and the court can pretend otherwise. He says that the SEC and court ignored the facts and pretend otherwise in the Ripple versus LBRY case. Yeah, the SEC is in a very, very bad position right now. But let's move on to another article here. Major news when it comes to Stellar. Now, we all know how USDC affects the Stellar network. We all know why they're pushing it around the world. All that congestion, Stellar wallets, right? Lumens held in Stellar wallets and such. I mean, surge pricing because of congestion, all this good stuff. Well, Stellar just released this tweet. Did you hear that? I kid you not. These cardinals in my bush. I know some people out there are going to say, Mick, get to the XLM, get to the stellar news. But the cardinals, they were, when I talk, it's like they're competing with me. They start tweeting louder. Did you hear that? But then when I stopped talking, just then, when I paused, and I did that on purpose, all of a sudden they stopped tweeting. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, so Stellar releases this tweet here. USDC on Stellar is now officially supported by @Coinbase. Coinbase's millions of users can now benefit from near instant speeds on USDC deposits and withdrawals via Stellar. So Stellar continues to expand. It says from remittances, real-time payments to global fiat and crypto on/off ramps, USDC on Stellar Network delivers real-world utility for both businesses and individuals alike. Now, I want to throw something else out there. When there's regulatory clarity, or when the utility coins have clarity, when the SEC Ripple case is over and we dominate the SEC, and now all those bank coins with similar use cases can run wild, what do you think is going to happen? You think that they're not going to push XLM? You think that people aren't going to hold XLM? Companies aren't going to want to have a little piece of XLM? You know, companies aren't going to push XLM to the moon? I would say I disagree with that. I think that they will. They're laying low. They've been laying low for a while, just so they don't have that SEC spotlight on them, right? That's just my humble opinion, right? But have you seen the changes from when we first got into this business till now? All right. So this can be very good. It's more opportunities. There's a lot of people on Coinbase who like to use USDC. And I mean, you can't beat Stellar fees at all, right? So I think a lot of people might end up using USDC on Stellar from Coinbase, but it may take some time. We'll keep an eye on that. But this could be great for business. So you have the MoneyGram thing all around the world. You have what they're doing in the Ukraine. You have Franklin Templeton. You have corridors everywhere. I mean, there's so much going on Stellar. You have BPV and what they're pushing for banks. You have Stronghold and what they're pushing for banks. And there has been updates. Those chapters haven't come out well. I've been trying to get the information together, but go on Stronghold's Twitter, right? If you like Stellar, go on Stronghold's Twitter and just read that timeline. They've been doing very, very well, right? And then, I mean, so things are looking good as far as I'm concerned. Stellar tends to be very quiet unless they have a massive announcement. Like I said, it's just my humble opinion, just laying low. But when that Ripple versus SEC case is over, I think we're going to see a lot. That gives the bank coins a little bit of clarity. Then you have this tweet here from Stellar. It says, crypto is global. It's a retweet from Ben Grossman. It says, crypto is global, converted at Circle, #USDC for cash, all the way in Santorini with no fees via MoneyGram on Stellar, right? And he's holding up some cash right there, some paper tender right there. This is great. You don't get better advertisement right now than this. All right? No fees. You move that money anywhere in the world right now. This is the type of thing that could bring a lot of people and companies to Stellar. Great. And if you remember, we read that article, maybe it was about a week or two ago, where they were saying, and it was very interesting. I'm still they didn't clarify why they said it, but they were saying that Stellar would act as a base and congeal with Swift, but will be like a base for the new financial system, the financial system of the future. And they didn't provide a lot of clarity on that. I'm still waiting on them to do that. But that was an interesting take. It makes me just consider, maybe someone behind the scenes is talking to them? Because it seems like Stellar's trying to dominate globally. They've been making a lot of movements, but we'll take this one step at a time. But right now, everything's looking good in my humble opinion. And you have to make up your own mind. All right, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I can only tell you how I feel. So now, I could have sworn there was something else I wanted to cover with Stellar, but let's move on to another article here. We'll get to that, any other Stellar news that I've forgotten in the next video. So now, this article here is also from U.Today. It's about Vechain. Oh, yes. It's titled, Vechain skyrockets. Was it 12%? 12% after Coinbase's announcement. This could be interesting. And Vechain is one of our original utility coins. Some people have a ton. Listen to me closely. Some people have a ton of Vechain to the point where it doesn't take an insane price to see disgustingly delicious gains. So I'm all for it. So let's read this little tidbit here. It says VEET, the native crypto asset of the Vechain blockchain, saw gains of over 12% as top crypto exchange Coinbase made an announcement regarding its listing. Coinbase making major moves. It's about time. Coinbase, in a new tweet, announced the addition of 2 assets to its roadmap. Notably, the 2 tokens of the Vechain ecosystem, Vechain VEET and VETHO, were added to the Coinbase roadmap. Vechain runs a 2-token economic model. VEET is the utility token, while VETHO represents the token utilized for incentive and payment. So let's scroll down here. So according to Coinbase, its roadmap includes assets that it has decided to list. I hope that price explodes. Money, 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 money. Oh, let's go Vechain. We'll see. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But let's go Vechain. I know that much. Thus, the news remains big for the Vechain ecosystem. Yeah, it's very big, as it will help increase exposure to VEET and VTO, the 2 tokens of the ecosystem. The price of VEET subsequently reacted to the news, as seen by a large daily green candlestick marking the highest gains in the last 7 days since VEET's price began to rise. Yeah, because you never know. It could. Sometimes something is listed on Coinbase and it can really explode. It can really take off. But I have seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, I have seen a few things get added to Coinbase and it didn't seem like too much happened, in my opinion. So you never know, but there's always that possibility, because I have seen that before, something just go boom when it's added to Coinbase. And Vechain is one of the absolute best pure utility coins. Check out their ecosystem. They have so many huge partnerships. And don't get me wrong, they've been held. You know what's interesting? They've been held back, is what I was going to say. And even though they've been held back because they have certain associations like, with China and such like that, at least that's what theorized of why they were held back. But even with that, they have so many partnerships. I mean, huge partnerships. Is unbelievable. All Vechain is waiting for is regulatory clarity around the world, or regulations to roll out around the world, and it will run wild. Its use case is more solid than I think almost any other use case, where you're scanning items and it's using for traceability everywhere, for shoes, for crops, for commodities. I mean, the potential of Vechain is unbelievable. Just my humble opinion. All right, so now let's move on here. Got a few more articles here. All right, I hope you're all doing well out there. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. You're healthy mentally. You're healthy spiritually. You're healthy bodily. All right. All right. So all the best to every single one of you out there. All right. So now, this article here is from the block.co, and it's titled, "Tokenization will be monumental in shaping our ecosystem." Once again, this is coming from BlackRock again. BlackRock is making waves, and they're telling the people what's coming. Now, who's going to be the biggest beneficiaries of tokenization? The utility coins. Who are people going to trust more than the bank coins or utility coins like Cardano, Vechain? I think that's it. The utility coins are it when it comes to tokenization. As far as taking a good piece of that capital, I think that's reasonable, right? So it will be reasonable that over years, as trillions begin to flow in because of tokenization, that their prices may increase. I think that's reasonable. You let me know. Says BlackRock head of strategic ecosystem partnerships, Joseph Chalom, thinks institutional adoption of tokenization might be slower than expected in the short term, quote, but in the long term, it will be monumental in shaping our ecosystem. I actually think tokenization is going to move faster than what everybody anticipates, but that's just my humble opinion, given all this different research and documentation that I've looked at. It says, quote, "We need to work with good actors and with good infrastructure that becomes self-reinforcing, then the money and adoption will come," he said Thursday at an event in New York. Well, first, listen, once the SEC moves out of the way, if we're talking in the West, we're talking in the United States, the bank coins will run wild because they could do more than just move capital for banks. Although those trillions scaled into quadrillions, of course, per year that come from interbank payments, in my opinion, is enough. But they will run wild. They will tokenize gaming, the art, all the art that they can, all the real estate that they can. Everything will be tokenized. Commodities, wheat, everything, all the value of everything will be tokenized and be able to move. They will run wild. All you have to do is get the SEC out of the way. That's it. And let these companies do what it is that they are best at. And they will show you. So I think once that happens, you know, I think things will happen much more rapidly than people anticipate. But just my humble opinion, it says his comments followed a flurry of excitement after the asset management firm filed a spot Bitcoin ETF with the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission last week. Shalom said BlackRock has been engaged in numerous conversations with both traditional and crypto native clients. Is that so? Interesting, isn't it? Focusing on tokenization and its partnership with Circle. You see where this is going? Who's connected with Circle? Circle, USDC, Stellar, BlackRock. People are not putting it together. They're not putting this together. Connections. You'll see what happens in the future. Shalom added the industry needs to coalesce around certain assets and prioritize real world use cases. Yeah. We're going to stop right there with that article, right? Once again, if you want to read all of it, it's from theblock.co. All right. Okay. Now we're moving on. Let's see. We need one more article here. We have 3 articles here. Let's see which one is the best. Oh, we're going to end off with this article here today from fortune.com, and it's titled Commercial Real Estate Office Crash is Here, says CRE CEO. It says what's happening, quote, what's happening in the office sector is apocalyptical. Wow. This commercial real estate CEO says the crash has already started. You know what's strange? I was out and about, and I'm seeing like all of this office space that I saw months ago still up for sale. Nobody purchased it. And let me tell you something. The areas that they're in, you make money there. You can make some money there. No one's buying anything. So that tells me a lot right there. So there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding commercial real estate with all eyes on the office space. From research notes published by the big banks to academic papers, is not looking too good for the sector that has been plagued by remote work. Well, remote work, companies and individuals alike don't have the capital that they used to play with, and the idea that they do, I think, is very illusory. Lots of capital had to be reallocated over the last few years because the economy just overall had not been doing well. So I think that is just as big as remote work, right? And people not wanting to return to office space because there has been some progress there. A lot of companies have been demanding people come back or they're fired, right? We've heard about that. You read those articles. So some people have been forced to return, but you have to remember, you have to adapt and change with the times. So if you can't move that all as one, I don't understand. Well, okay. Because of a lack of regulatory clarity, maybe they can't fractionalize everything just yet. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe they don't want to take the risk to fractionalize everything just yet. But you could just sell it in pieces. You could use an offering, just as an example, like let's say Lofty AI or something like that, and let a lot of different entities buy pieces of these offices. Then you can move that value a little bit more easily, right? They may be more willing to play. It's a little bit more affordable, but who knows? I don't know. But there are solutions to this. They just either can't implement it or don't want to implement this yet. But here's the point of why I've been covering this is because those small banks, which are heavy in commercial real estate loans, are about to take a Mike Tyson punch to the jaw. And they're already at risk. Over 900, according to the experts' data, over 900 banks are at risk. So if this guillotine comes down on their head Expect some banks to possibly have to congeal with the bigger banks or go out of business completely. Right? So which is very good for the new financial system because like I said, things like this are going to possibly drive those small banks into the arms of the new financial system, XRP, XLM, the new financial system. If we get regulatory clarity, we will run wild with them. They will want to use us to make more money, to save capital, to fractionalize certain things, to access tokenization. They'll have a lot more that they can play with, right? Then also their offerings will expand, right? They're not going to be beyond staking and things like that and having their own offerings, which will be on chain, new lending styles of lending opportunities. So, we'll keep our eye on this, but commercial real estate is something that could be devastating to the legacy banking system. And they know it. Janet Yellen told you 2 or 3 times, right? Now you have Jerome Powell said it. We covered it. We covered an article. We showed it. We have Jerome Powell saying the same thing. So Janet Yellen said it. Jerome Powell saying it. I've been saying it. You have pro-economists like Peter Schiff and such, I think, or some other economists iterating the same things. We're all saying the same things. It's coming, folks. Just a matter of time. I know you're already prepared. You don't have anything to worry about. But it's very good for the new financial system. But for people that are still heavy into traditional banking system, it behooves them, it will be good for them to check the health of their bank. It doesn't hurt. I've been saying this for a long time. I can't tell people what to do. You make up your own mind. It doesn't hurt to call and check on the health of your bank. It doesn't. I say protect your value at all costs. That's how I feel. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.